Hey guys, Quiv the Lazy Geek here and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about a new feature in PHD2 guiding, but actually it's a new feature in the development version of PHD2 guiding. So just like the nightly releases from Nina, if you do install that new version, it might not work, it might waste a night time's imaging, it might break, it might insult your mother, and it could potentially destroy the whole space-time continuum. So be very careful about all of that. What this new feature does is that instead of guiding on a single star within your field of view or the field of view of your guide camera, you're going to be guiding on many stars all at once. And why is that important? It's because when you're guiding on a single star, that single star is very susceptible to seeing conditions, meaning like the movements of the atmosphere that's standing in between this star and the sensor, your guiding sensor. And in Tokyo, we have not only a lot of light pollution, but we also have terrible seeing year-round, especially in winter. So in winter, in summer, I'll typically get like guiding results with a single star guiding of 0.8, maybe arc seconds RMS. And in winter, I'll be at 1.3 arc seconds RMS because the guiding is so terrible. And why is that? It's because of the atmospheric seeing that from the guiding point of view, it appears as if the star is moving around, jumping around. So it's trying to tell the mount to keep track of the star, even though it's not tracking errors, it's just the seeing is messing with your image. And so the mount does a lot of unnecessary work, and it does a lot of work that it cannot possibly hope to catch up with. And so we get bad guiding figures. We have some workarounds around that. Instead of doing short exposures, let's say 1 second long, we can take longer exposures like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, that basically will average out the atmospheric seeing across time, which is great. It kind of works, but it still means that you'll be doing guide corrections less often than if you were able to take 0.5 second exposures or 1 second exposures. And if your mount has a lot of error in a short period of time, it will not be able to recover until that 4 second exposure is done. So that's a problem, and multi-star guiding can help, because instead of having to average out your seeing through time, you can average out your seeing through space without consuming time. So I can look at multiple stars at once, get the average of the star movement, track that and only that, and so average out my seeing errors. And there's great things about that is, one, it doesn't consume time, so I can go back to short exposures with frequent mount guide updates, so I can really keep track of my star very precisely, at a high sampling rate, like every 0.5 second, which can be super useful for harmonic drives or strain wave gear based mounts, or mounts like the Avalon M0, this kind of mechanisms. And so that is a game changer. It's really a game changer. It's probably the biggest thing that has happened to PHD2 since it was branched out from the original PhD. I might be exaggerating, but it is huge. So let's have a look at how to get that. So first things first, you want to go to the PHD2 website, so openphdguiding.org, and in there you just want to go to download section. And under download section, you have the development snapshots. And if you go to those snapshot builds, you'll be seeing that the latest is Dev 3. And as of Dev 2, you have a single line in the release notes that says new multi-star guiding. And that's like, it's a single line. It should be like in like font 77 letters with stars all around and fireworks around, because it is a major feature and it is absolutely amazing. So you will want to download this and install this if you want to use multi-star guiding and you're okay with using development builds that might spit in your face if you don't treat them well, but this is how you get it. Now let's have a look at the actual guiding performance there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my porch light, so you will not be able to see me anymore. Too bad. And now that it's done, I am going to just take exposures. and I will go inside the options there, and we're going to start without using multiple stars. If you go into the brain icon and you go into the guiding tab, you have the use multiple star checkbox in the development snapshots. We're going to keep that unselected, and I'll have my 3 seconds guide exposure because I want to average out the seeing of the atmosphere across time, because that's how I've been working up to now. Now we can ask PHD2 to auto-select a fitting star for this, and it selected this star, and I'm already calibrated properly, so I can just start guiding, and we'll see that we'll probably get like pretty bad guiding, and we'll get pretty bad guiding because we're getting very poor seeing. So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, and we'll see how this looks like after that. Okay, so it's been a minute or so, maybe less, maybe more, I don't know, but you can see that already there's a lot of corrections that are ongoing, and the graph doesn't look that great. We're still getting like around 1.06 arcsecond RMS, which is actually for winter time, especially so low on the horizon at this time, a very, very good result. For me, it's even getting better right now, but you can see there's lots of things that are happening. It's very jumpy, and I'm not a big fan of how this is currently working, but this is the way that it is. If I were to set this to 1 second and reselect a star, we would get even worse results. So now we're going to stop this. I'm going to stop this, and we are going to go inside our brain icon here, and we are going to use multiple stars. Okay, and now that I've used multiple stars, I want to start taking exposures again, and I will want to I will actually like take advantage of this to be able to guide more frequently, every 1 second instead of every 3 seconds. So I've basically tripled my sampling rate and my correction rate. So I will go to my tools, auto select star. I've cleared my previous guide graph, and we are going to start guiding again. And you can see that immediately we are getting a much better result at 0.61 RMS right now, and yeah, it's more than 40% better than what we have, almost twice as good, and that is amazing performance. I'm really super happy with this new feature. It's absolutely amazing, and if you have the courage to use a development version and you're willing to like risk imaging time to test it out because you'll get better results, I mean, I would recommend it. Of course, you can wait for the stable release to include that as well, but I find it absolutely amazing. I'm going to stop that and turn on the light on the back just to mention something else. So there is one very important thing as well with this new guiding, is that because it uses multiple stars at once, there's a higher risk that it would use a hot pixel as a star to guide on. And if it has like 1 star and 5 hot pixels, obviously hot pixels are not affected by seeing, they're part of the camera, and it would show the tracking as being absolutely perfect. So you want to avoid that. And to do so, you want to make sure that you go into darks and that you use a dark library, and ideally you want to refresh your dark library. So what you do is you put back the dust cap on your guide scope, turn off any light around so you don't have any stray light going inside the sensor, go to this dark library, and then you can set a minimum exposure time, a maximum exposure time, like I have here, a number of frames to take for each exposure, and click start, and that will automatically take 10, in my case 10 dark frames per exposure time between 0.5 seconds and 4 seconds, so I can use that. And once I have that, and I have the use dark library actually set in here, it basically removes the risk of being on a hot pixel rather than on a star. And I do believe that somewhere in the settings as well, you can have like, yeah, the minimum star HFD in pixels, I've set it to 2 to make, that's another layer of safety for me to avoid guiding on stars that could be hot pixels. So that's kind of something that I do to make sure that the results of the multi-star guiding are not just psychological, because if we're guiding on hot pixels, we'll get excellent guiding, but poor results in the actual images. And so having a dark frame library and maybe setting a minimum HFD for the stars to be selected is, I think, quite important. But with that, you notice that I get better performance, much better guiding with a much higher rate of corrections, and I'm absolutely pumped by that. It's really, really cool. Also, these days I'm back to using GS servers, Green Swan server to control my mounts, and I really like it. And it's working much better than it used to for me. I'm not sure whether there's been a new version or something, but I'm really enjoying it as it is right now. And tonight, I am not sure what I am going to take in picture. Maybe just go for M42, but at least I'll have good guiding to keep it up. So with that, I hope this was useful. The first people who told me about that were Nina guys on the Discord channel from Nina back around Christmas, and I finally gotten around to properly testing it, and it is absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you like this video, feel free to go down below, click on that like button. Also, you may want to subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already and you like astrophotography, astronomy, and all sorts of geek stuff around that. I'm the channel for that. And with that, thank you so much for watching, as always. Also, whenever you can, don't forget to look up at the stars, and I'll see you next time.